Right. I think we're gonna get started here. We good? Right. Right. Welcome, Alex, to this Tech Talk sessions. Again, we are happy to have you on the Adapt Tech Talk show, which is a show that focuses on sharing our knowledge of, automation, AI, and technology in general with, uh, our members and also folks that just follow us. So we're excited to have you, and we're excited to have you for this special topic. We're going to be talking about the AI arm race, right? When your digital guardian becomes your greatest threat. That's a very interesting and taunting subject. So, and very much, a subject that is to the actuality now. We hear about AI every day. It's no longer just a tool, right? It's a battlefield. Nations, corporations, and innovations are racing to build smarter, faster, more autonomous system, and each competing for dominance in what many now call the AI race. So, at the heart of this rapid progress, lies a paradox, which is the very technology that are designed to protect us are our guardians, but they may also become the sources of, our greatest vulnerabilities. So, we excited for that topic. Welcome, Alex.
Yeah, thank you.
All right. So, where's Alex joining us from this afternoon or this morning, if you don't mind?
All right. Good afternoon to everyone currently on the call. Alex is joining from Lagos, Nigeria this afternoon.
Oh, that's nice.
All right.
So Lagos, Nigeria. There's always that Lagos, Cameroon soccer battlefield. We're talking about like the AI, the AI battlefield. That's another one there, but a fun one, the one that we keep it fun and enjoy as neighbor.
Yeah. Yeah. But I hope we always win anyway. I think we are maturing in terms of soccer to be winning you guys. We have great guys now, unlike before.
Yes. No, this is great. So we'll talk, this tech talk is going to explore the urgent and these uncomfortable questions, around that AI and security and that global race. But before we talk about it, we're going to first, just, learn about a little bit about you, Alex, if you don't mind. So more like, your background, how you got into this field, maybe your professional background, educational background, and what you are doing today for your current work.
All right. I think thank you for that. So Alex, by virtue of I STEM chose me. I didn't choose STEM because from the background, from the environment where I grew up from, it was we only have science school. We call it science school, and as you choosing the science aspect of subjects in high school, we call it secondary school. So by that virtue, my future has been determined that if I don't become an engineer, I can only become a medical doctor. So remembering back then, I decided that no, because most of my friends are medical doctors and some electrical, civil engineer, but I needed something different. Even in the family, we have engineers. So I just wanted something different. So I decided that I've been hearing the word computer. I said I was going to study computer, and all thanks to my parents. And even when I went to meet them, the only questions they asked was, "Who could I point to that study computer and that has made it? That probably doing great in life." I couldn't really point one within my environment. So, but I knew it could be more. And there were a lot of uncles who even told me that why would somebody go to school to study computer when you could just, what they understood computer as was a computer operator, somebody who could just open Word and Excel. So by that virtue, I went in the engineering, studied computer science. Currently I did a master's in it, and so my background, even when I was writing my final year project, it was on network. So I did something on networking. So from there, I transitioned to having my master's. Also did something. So then have a very robust background in network. So for me to transition to cybersecurity was a bit easier because I have a basic foundation. So so when cybersecurity came, the urge, what actually brought me into cybersecurity was because of the way the field is. If you're a cybersecurity expert, you will agree with me that it's a field where you have to read consistently. So it's not a field where you just have a monotonous knowledge and you don't add to it. So because of that, and it's actually work with my personality. I'm someone who loves research so much. So when I was told by, I have a lot of mentors in this field that, Alex, I think you could do well in cybersecurity. But the only case they gave was you have to keep reading. I was like, oh, that is what I actually like. So me coming into cybersecurity, I think cybersecurity more or less we prepare each other because as much as it was more or less, and I came in through the penetration testing. So having in mind a lot of fiction about what I've watched in movies, how how hackers behave. So I loved that. I wanted to do that until I came into the field. I know the truth from the lies and the fictions that everything has a process. It's not like the way it was fictional to us in movie. So by that virtue, I came into cybersecurity, and from cybersecurity, I've worked in the application security space for a while, where I ensure that our applications are secure, API security, ensure that APIs within our space are properly secure, properly configured, and a bit of cloud access also in the AWS and the Azure environment. These are part of what I've done then before I now transit. As I was growing gradually in the field, I found myself from there and I found myself in the blue space where I led a SOC team, where most of these operations that I've done as I was growing, I start leading them and providing directions to people in various forms. And so it has been a wonderful experience. And when the AI came, what brought the AI journey was when it was because most of the, like I said, most of my parts, I'm going to say is a bit of maybe coincidental. It's not as if I just truly wanted to choose. It's either maybe there's always an event that occurs. So I've always been hearing that AI is coming for all of us. It's coming to take our job. So I became interested as someone who remembers how I started my journey in the computer field. I decided where do I find myself? Where do I sit? I started doing research. And from that research, I have learned more than can an AI take my job now, than to even know some of the problems that we as an individual, because I think the mindset of everyone and some of our listeners on the call would be, they said AI is coming to take our job. Yes, AI is going to take some job. It has already taken some, but we need to look beyond that irrespective of whatsoever AI is going to do, we are humans, and that is why this tech show is here. It's going to enlighten you about what you need to do and the overall goal of it, that in the next 10 years, what is going to happen, irrespective of whatsoever automation we've been able to do. I can tell you the woman still wins. So I think I'm going to stop here for that. Thank you.
No, thanks a lot, Alex. And just even the fact that you bring a different perspective about it, right? Because we've had a lot of guests on AI, on how to use and how to leverage it in different kind of context, right? But what I think is unique is that I don't think that we've had actually a guest like you, Ron, who has expertise in cybersecurity, who can talk about the other side of AI, which is the threat that it has, right? Balancing both the advantages and the risk that we might have with doing it. So excited to hear about it this morning or this afternoon, wherever you're joining us from. Um, and and also really excited to see that it's a passion of you, and you made your way there through different ways. That's interesting. I like to pause always on that a little bit because the folks that join us are typically folks that are looking at shaping their career, moving toward new fields like, let's say, technology or AI. And the question always comes into how do you get to, actually get into a role like you in doing, cybersecurity and, an AI kind of thing. So hearing your story is great. So from what I'm getting from your story is that maybe you start with the network.
Yeah, that's
Something.
correct.
So from your story, you start with the foundational knowledge, which is for you, your base is really not, it's networking. So you did a
Yes.
lot of networking.
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. No, that's a good, I like that because, sometimes just saying that you're going and doing AI can be, I think that can be kind of like vague, but starting with the profession that is close to it and then using it as a way of accelerating or growing toward that field, it's actually a really good advice. So thank you. So with this, Alex, we're gonna let you uh, take over for the presentation that you prepare for the audience today. And at the end of your presentation, we'll have a few minutes for question and discussions.
All right. Thank you. All right, audience, I will need to share my screen.
Yeah, and while we're sharing, anyone who's connected, feel free to use the chat if you have question as Alex is presenting, and we'll try to either answer some directly while he's presenting, or we will mainly use the end of the presentation to answer to all questions.
All right. All right, please confirm you can see my screen.
Yes, very well.
All right, I welcome everyone to wherever you're watching, wherever you're joining us from, either in the morning and the afternoon. You are once again welcome to this Tech Talk Show. Like my name is Alex, and the topic I'll be bringing you to your awareness is the AI arm race. That is when your digital guidance becomes your greatest strength. And based on the audience, based on I think the information I got, it's gonna be an interactive section. So don't just think I'm gonna be reading the slides I prepared for you and questions down. It's gonna be an interactive and probably short session. But this is the topic. It's an interesting topic, and what actually brought about this topic when I was researching what am I going to discuss with people. Will I come and discuss to them how we are going to build an agent, how we should build an agentic AI that could do a lot of things? Because I know probably some of you might have heard that we are actually in the era of the AI mantra, and I don't know some of the tech show that has been done, probably based on some of the topics in AI. So I am currently working on a research with some senior professors in this field, and we're working on a framework. And from part of the framework is we discover an ethical issue about AI. So that was where this topic springs up. That as much as possible, that everybody's building an agent to help us do our daily tasks to automate most of these things. We're actually looking at the other side of it that can help you stop a phishing email. The same AI can also tell if when attackers start using the same AI, they can also tell the other bad guys how to hide so that they won't be detected. So that was actually what brought about this topic. So I want you to pay your full attention to it so that you can both enjoy it. Um, So looking at this picture, I want you looking at this picture. I'm not gonna be reading them. I just want you to have a feel because I just want you to have a feel. Imagine you waking up someday, and I know most of you must have been familiar with bank. Most of you have a bank account, and you use for your day to day. And some of you even have a social media account. I expect some people to have Facebook. Some of you have Twitter accounts and Instagram. Imagine you waking up one day and part of your deepest secret, probably on your mobile phone or probably some pictures that you don't want anyone to see, you discover that everything has been shredded on the internet. How are you going to feel? I think the answer to me is going to be you're going to be embarrassed, isn't it? And looking at this from an aspect, a lot of you must have been hearing about what cybersecurity could do in terms of the attack. You must have been hearing what attacker can do, especially in the aspect of threat. I remember one of the incidents when I joined as the entry level in cybersecurity. Then we were always asked not to on our camera. So at times it's not now that they've made sophisticated laptops that has the laptop cover. Then we don't have such. So we have to find a sellotape or a paper tape to cover the camera because we were told that an attacker could sit somewhere and be watching what we were doing. So these are part of the fears and the phobia that was translated to us. And I'm not going to say it's not true. They are. But believe you me, everything has a process and everything has a process. And also what you should also have at the back of your mind, as you are trying to navigate your field, finding your way into the cybersecurity space, it's important. You may not have to pass through the route where I went through, going via network support, from support, now in penetration testing to application security. You may not. You may not necessarily have to go there because now the field is so wide that you can just be specific. We have various fields in cybersecurity. Of the application security, you talk about the ethical hacking, talk about the GRC, the government's risk and compliance. You talk about you talk about you talk about the SOC, you talk about the threat intel, you talk about the stealth. There are a lot of things. You have to talk about the cloud security. So these are a lot of roles that you don't have to navigate. It's good if you have a basic background like some of us, but that is not going to be a stopper in any way for you to kickstart your career in cybersecurity. Because I know a lot of you may have a lot of misconception, probably from movies, probably from what you were told. As much as possible, this is about AI, but as we keep talking, I'll keep deciphering some of the thoughts and some of the belief system that you've heard so that you can know where you stand. So concerning this image, imagine this young man just waking up and seeing an embarrassing picture of him on the internet. How do you think he's going to feel? Imagine all his parents, his grandparents, everybody has been calling. Why? How could you? Who did this? Imagine him not even knowing how those pictures got to the internet. Okay, so proceed. Yeah. So the next, what I tag this column, it's imagine the first phase where someone is in a field, is in a confused state, finding maybe your banking system, your bank application. You discover that your bank account has turned to zero, or probably you're finding an embarrassing pictures of yourself or your organization or the data that belongs to your organization. I want to assume some of you is working, and if you have not, there are cases where you work, personal data can find itself online. Imagine that. And this is the promise. The promise in this space is we are going to secure so that something similar like that is not going to happen. And they say let's go back 5 years. I won't even go back 5 years. Let's even look at our current state because I'm speaking to various types of audience. I don't want to assume everybody is at our level. So I want to, as much as possible, decipher it so that we can all learn. In the cybersecurity space, as I was saying, we have different roles. And part of what I do now, I lead a team that does the monitoring and also defense. Part of what we do day to day is we guide the organizations. We monitor platforms via the SIEM, and the SIEM is a platform where all logs that are coming, all logs. Imagine you guys, you have a phone, you have a laptop. Some of you that works for the ADAPT team, you have a laptop. Most of your laptops are sending logs as an event via. Imagine if we now have a cybersecurity team and the cybersecurity engineer wanted to know what is going on your laptop. Imagine him having to come to you individually, check this person's laptop, check the other person's laptop. It's cumbersome, and it's not even realistic in an enterprise environment. So because of that, we have a tool that is a SIM. What a SIM does is it collects all your logs. Depends, yes, don't forget, I would want to take you deep. Some of the notable logs, we have different types of logs that your systems generated. We have the application logs, we have the security logs, we have the system log itself, we have the audit log, and different types of log that's generated. But as a cybersecurity person, for some of you that is coming into it, part of the persistence that you should be looking at is most of these logs are important, but some of them we are unstructured. So the ones that are important to us mostly is always the security logs and audit log. And what are we looking for in the security logs? We are looking for login, logout. We are looking for whoever is running a process. We are looking for is any user. Have you been able to do any privilege escalation? Have you been able to take your privilege probably from a normal user to an administrator? These are the kinds of logs you find in security logs. And all these have events. Maybe one of these architecture, I may come to do hands-on experience on some of these, but so let's focus on the AI promise. Now, imagine as a security analyst, which I'm expecting some of you will be as this journey keeps going. Imagine you have a lot of logs. You're looking at logs from your data center, logs from your application, logs from endpoint user, various types of logs, and even logs from a user that complained that today, I just found my system, I just found my application online, I just found some of my data got leaked online. So what do you think? And he now came to you as a cybersecurity person. What are you going to do? All right. So in the advent, because like I said, that we have a lot of logs that comes via different platform. Now, how do we navigate this thing? That you find that's why we have as part of the role that some of you may want to choose, and so for some of our listeners that are just neutral, some of the roles we have in cybersecurity, we have a SOC, the Security Operations Center, where most of what they do, they analyze. And we have different tiers of analysis. We have the level 1, the level 2, the level 3. The level 1 is where you just monitor. You monitor when an alert drops, or probably when an offense, as the case may be, and in some tools, when an alert drops or when an incident drops, you investigate it. And we still find out that even as far as all these preparations that we've done as a security person, I know some of you you still read online that some banks get hacked. You still read online that some corporate organizations get hacked. And you may begin to wonder that what are the security experts? What are they doing? What are the likes of Alex? What are they doing in such environments? So this may be a question to you that I thought they said they have visibility over some of these things. Truth be told, no human. First, this is a disclaimer and it's a personal statement by me. There's no complete system. That the system is not hackable today doesn't mean it's not going to be hackable in the next 2 years. So always have that. So those are part of how we were trained. Even if the system is working fine, don't ever have it at the back of your mind that this is a complete system. These systems cannot be hacked. Like I said, it's a disclaimer. I don't know. Some people may build a robust system with some technologies that I don't know, that they say, oh, this is not hackable. But based on some of the things I read and some of my belief, my trust, there's no complete system. So because of that, there may be loopholes where we have different controls within an organization that we've tried as much as possible to ensure that all of us are cyber secure. But there are cases where those control fails. There are cases where our defense in depth fail. There are cases where our firewall decides not to do redundancy. There are cases where we have a lot of tools that we use in protecting our organization. There are cases where even you as an end user, you don't listen to some of the awareness that we always tell you. There are cases where we are going to tell you that if you get an OTP, probably and somebody is trying to hack your Facebook account or your Instagram account and send an OTP to your line. I know most of you we preach it and we'll continue to preach it that don't send that OTP. But some users still don't listen because based on their cyber knowledge, you send the OTP. So imagine the end goal of what could possibly happen in such organization. So these are human concern and also system concern. Like for you to know, for some of you coming into the cybersecurity field, the cybersecurity field is made up of the human, they call it the people, process, and technology. So don't forget that irrespective of whatsoever our processes, our technology, the process is about our ISO. It's about the frameworks that we follow. The technology aspect is about the tools. Think of any tools that you might have had. We have tools that defend. But what about the people? And most cases, we always say that the people are the weakest link in some cases. And not in most cases. So what I was saying is, some of you will preach this cyber journey to you, but users will always be users. So that was why AI success. When AI came, AI was a success because because when AI came, we were now able to build autonomous agents. There are agents today that you onboard within your SIM that does manual scanning. Not just manual scanning, it scans within your environment, and when it finds an anomaly, it automatically even blocks an endpoint. The agent that you can onboard within your organization that automatically disables a user's account. This makes life easier comparing when analysts, yes, you may have 20 analysts, and at times human can be human. They may be fatigued, there is job fatigue, probably they are burnout, and they may not be watching or paying full attention to the alerts. But an agent will never get tired. An agent is going to do, based on the rule set that we've actually built, an agent is going to do what we built it for. So that's where the AI success came from. Organization could rest their onions and look at, no, we know that there's no attack that can come because the agents are working. Now the agents now becomes our digital guardian. Now everybody is safe because we know that some of the controls that human being could fail at, AI agent is not going to fail at it. Now the next slide is about the twist. Now looking at it, imagine what I said about the AI success. The AI success is where we were using an AI system and AI agents to build security, to build an autonomous system for ourselves. But what now happened? Where the attacker, they themselves are now using AI. I know some of you are very conversant with some of the generative AI tools, like you have ChatGPT, you have Cloud, you have Grok. We have different of them. And some organizations today, I'm aware, they don't even allow they don't even allow you to have access to such generative AI platforms when you are connected to the organizational network. And this is actually a good practice because there are cases where we are defending, the attackers too are also using the same AI to attack us. So that is the paradox about this topic. Yes, we have success today where AI has been able to defend us. But what about the possibility? Not even a possibility. The attackers now are also now using AI to attack us. And once you know that the AI system, the same way, just for you to be able to put a prompt, the same way we are building an agent that could instantiate an EC2 instance in our AWS environment. The same way, you can also build another agent to do something likewise. How can I attack this organization? Because don't forget that all models that we build today, we build them on data. And most of this data comes from, and that's how when you hear models, when we are training models in AI, we are talking about data sets. And these are where the twist now comes in. Look at this picture: an AI attack and AI defense. We'll talk more on it as we proceed forward. Now, this is now the paradox, the learning paradox. You can see from the example that I gave here, we train an AI to dictate a phishing email. You know what they call a phishing email? Probably some of you may just see today. You just get someone just send an email or probably a WhatsApp message to you that you have a gift card on Amazon that you should claim it. And I'm not sure you, or probably someone will tell you that your uncle in UK, you don't even have an uncle in UK. Or let's even say you have an uncle, he didn't promise you that he's going to send you some of these things because as an attacker, what they do, they work on your mindset. And how do they work on your mindset? They work with you with goodies. Every woman loves good things the way we are created. No one wants to suffer. So even if I tell you that tomorrow now I have, Bitcoin is common, that I want to give you one Satoshi or probably 0.001 Bitcoin, probably because of based on my influence. Some of you might even believe me. And it's not as if we've ever had any discussion. So this now comes as concerns as, and these are what attacker uses. Now that's an example of a phishing email. Those fake emails trying to steal your password. There are cases where some of you who uses laptop, there are cases where you may just be browsing on the internet. You just see a pop-up. Oh, claim this gift card. Or probably claim this gift card. You're like, oh, gift card? Okay. Or some of you, there are some courses that these courses are paid for. Somebody just told you that he has the downloaded version. Or probably some of you love movies. Someone tells you there's a new movie on Netflix. It tells you that you can download it via Telegram. Yeah, and don't forget that the internet may be free, but most of the times we are the product. So at times these are what they have to show you goodies. They have to give you goodies that you have to believe that, is it true? And in some cases, you guys you lost your password. You give them access on ceremonial access to your account. And and look at the message. He said those fake messages trying to steal your password. Our AI agent got so good at it, catching up 99 phishing email. So what this is saying is, when we train an agent within our organization to catch all phishing email, and when you're building an agent, it's easier. It's easier these days because you have the attackers are still smart too. But imagine what me building an AI agent that is going to act as an ESG, an email security gateway. So what I'm just going to be targeting is I'm going to be targeting domains. I'm going to be targeting. There are a lot of domains globally that are known to pass phishing attacks. There are also global domains that are especially new domains that are created. So because of that, we try as much as possible. When you're building an agent, you can say, any new agent that is not verified, any new domain that is not verified, probably an agent a domain less than a month, don't block it. So in case if I block you are trying to send an email to us within our organization, you discover that you may not be able to send it because you have to contact someone. I'm trying to send an email to your organization. These are how you build an AI agent. Imagine what an attacker could do too. An attacker could also build another AI agent. So that, yes, I know they are going to they are trying to block most of these phishing emails. There are some phishing emails that I'm going to show in some of my topics that are some different topics that will be coming to show you practical example of what we could do. Is I'm going to show you there are some URL that I'm going to show you. You may not be able to decipher a phishing email from a real email. So because of that, organization now trains AI system to be able to identify a phishing email. And imagine the AI system was doing perfectly well. But the downside now is for the AI agent to be able to perform well, the AI agent automatically have access to all the emails because it has to go through your header, it has to go through the authentication method, it has to go through, it knows the header, it knows the to and from it's, and some of them they even go as granular as having your IP, having your host. And these can be used in building different models, especially when it gets to the wrong hand. Now, before we go deep, I'm going to take you about the current AI threats. You can see we classify them into 3 segments: the data risk, privacy and privacy, security and integrity threat, and societal data poisoning, especially for the data and privacy risk. For some of you that may be looking at career in the aspect of maybe SOC and also in the aspect of GRC, government risk and compliance, it's important that you understand how we safeguard our data. Yes, organization, you can, and globally we have frameworks that even guide us. Globally in Europe, you hear something you hear frameworks as GDP, like GDPR. In Nigeria, in our country, we also have a framework that guides us. These are platforms that tells organization what they could do and could not do with your data. Imagine some of you that has account with some banks and account with some banks today. They have your data, they have your username and password, they have your date of birth. Some even have your address. Imagine if those data gets into the hands of of an attacker. You know what they could do? Someone could see it and start calling you and start acting like a prophet, and this person may call you and start telling you your date of birth. And some of you that are religious minded were like, oh, how was he able to know my date of birth? That's data poisoning. Imagine in our country where I came from, we travel a lot, and probably when some of us are at the bus station, they ask us to put down our names, they ask us to put our next of kin, they ask us to put our address of where I'm going to. I don't know if it happens in Cameroon, but I'm just the example I'm giving is probably you're going on a distance from state to state. You go to a bus station, they ask you to put your name, you put your full name, you put your next of kin in case if an accident happens, what are you going to call? And these are kind of data that you put. And an average user, someone like you and me, you don't even ask those guys, what do they do with the data at the end of the day? Imagine a motor park that has been over 10 years. Imagine the kind of data that they could chunk out. You know, me and you, we don't even care. And some of us are religious. Imagine you going to church, they ask you to come outside as the first time, and they collect your information, they collect your name, they collect your date of birth, they say they will be praying for you. What happens to the data? Where are these people kept at the end of the day? None of us actually cares. Even me, I'm thinking, I don't care. It was because when I started cybersecurity, it started giving me the knowledge. And some of you, imagine you going to a park and somebody is asking for your mother's middle name, just for an instance. What does your mother's middle name has to do with the successful journey in which you are going? So that is what we call data anonymization. There are places we go to because I'm trying to enlighten some of you. When you're in any, you find yourself anywhere. For an instance, you are traveling. It's expected that they have your name. It's expected that they have your mobile number. It's expected that your next of kin, they could have their number and probably the name of your next of kin. For somebody asking that, what's your father's name? Your father's name, what's your mother's name? Do you think that has any alliance with you getting to where you are going to? No. That is where your cyber skill should kick in about data anonymization. Don't give them. You need to ask them why. Are you saying if I don't give you my mother's name, I'm not going to get to where I'm going on my uncle's name? So these are part of the data poisoning. These are some of the areas where some of you might have lost your data, and somebody could just sit and tell you, hey, am I speaking to Alex? Yes, Alex. Oh, Alex, this is Alex. You're born so month. He gave you the month accurately. So someone like who has a bit cyber knowledge like me, I won't be fathomed. I won't even falter for it because I know it's possible my data may have leaked somewhere. So, but for some of you, you may start believing, and that's how an attacker. That's what they call me. Just talking about data poisoning. We have model invasion. Like I said, models are built on data sets. And most of these models that you see, there are even the so-called some of the generative AI that you are aware of today. They have some of this model invasion because you see some skillful attacker who knows how to use SQL very well. There are prompts that they are going to put into ChatGPT. ChatGPT will tell them the source of the data, where the source of the data is coming from. And this could lead to privacy concern. This could lead to patent concern. Unauthorized use of data. Imagine after you might have imagine the organization where we fed all our data concerning our emails into our models, protecting us. The same data, how are we ensuring that this data is kept? How are we ensuring that this data does not leave our domain? These are concerns today that we see, especially around the data and privacy concern. Because how do we ensure that this data, an attacker, the same way an attacker would have access overboard and be seeing your asset and be seeing if those data are not properly guided, if those data models are not properly kept with proper encryption model. And the last is going to be the data profiling. Data profiling is what I've told you, where an attacker have an access to your accounts. Probably you're traveling, for instance, the example I gave, your data has been lost somewhere. and somebody just call you and start telling you about your date of birth, giving you your surname, you are a male, you are this, you are that. And in cybersecurity, we call that information gathering. It's called reconnaissance because they've already heard something about you. So they don't just come like somebody who's operating in a black box environment. No. And for the security concern, we have the adversary attacks, we have the model thefts, we have AI-driven malware. Now, AI-driven malware, you discover now that today that even for some of you that are a bit careful, I'm not going to show you for the purpose of this. This is just to enlighten you. This is not a practical class to show you some of the scripts you could put in the generative AI to show you some script that you could run to generate phishing email, to even generate malware. You could even generate virus yourself. The same virus you are scared of, where probably you'll be thinking, I may get. You too could generate virus. And these are part of our concern as a security person that if somebody who knows nothing in cybersecurity could generate virus, then how do we ensure? Those are part of the disadvantage of having AI in the hands of the bad guy. The supply chain attack, some of you must have heard the popular fight happening between Ukraine and Russia. You see the last fight, the supply chain attacks that they used. So a lot of supply chains attack, and this is really a risk in cybersecurity today that no one can even say we have control over them because, especially some of us from Africa, we don't produce most of these tools that we use. Imagine your laptop today. Your laptop motherboard was laced. It was laced with a camera that, or probably one of the ICs, or probably they sold a motherboard that records your voice. You're not going to know. It only takes, you're not going to know. And they sell it to all of us and we keep using. And the laptop, all they just needed is for you to connect to the internet and it keeps replying. All your voice keeps sending to a particular server anywhere the supply chain attack is coming from. This is actually a real attack globally, not just it was in Africa. I'm just telling you where it affected us more because when you don't produce most of these things, how do you know? How are we going to guide ourselves? For the societal and ethical risk, deepfakes and disinformation. Yeah, this is actually a great concern. It's part of the issues we have with AI, generative AI. I don't know if some of you always play with, just in case some of you or most of you on the call, you don't play with AI. I encourage you. It's important you make it as a day to day. Never let a day pass and that you don't use one of their products. It's not. I've not gotten to where you know maybe it's going to take your job or not. But either way, it's important that you even know where you fall. You know the biases. You know some of the results. Some of you could sit on the call and ask, and you can be asking ChatGPT, one of the generative AI. The popular one is that what is 1 + 1? ChatGPT might give you 2. But if you question ChatGPT and tell ChatGPT that 1 + 1 is not 2, ChatGPT is going to tell you, sorry, I think you are right. So these are part of the disinformation that we are trying to ensuring that whatsoever feedbacks ChatGPT is bringing out or any of the generative AI, they are correct. We also have under these deepfakes, we also have hallucination as part of it. Hallucination is a process where ChatGPT, and part of the problems of the generative AI is, I won't say they lie. They don't have no for an answer. They believe everything is correct. So that's why I said it's important that some of you or most of you on the call take it as a sense of duty. Daily, don't just ask it when you have urgent discussion. No, interact with the system. You can interact. At least there are some things you know yourself. Tell the system that the system is lying. You discover that this generative AI will always try to suit you. Tell generative AI that who is the president of Cameroon. Probably gave you the name and you're not saying no, this is not the person. It will always still try to suit. It might start trying different models, trying different data sources just to ensure that it fits your narration. If you discovered the last United States election where they said there was a Russian invasion, these are part of where you see deep fakes happening. Deep fakes, someone like me may be talking, you can have my face, you can have my face and my voice, whereas I'm not the one. And these are the part of the societal and ethical issues with AI. We have biases and discrimination. Yes, it's always there. We have autonomous weaponization. It's also part of the issue. Loss of public trust. Yes, some people like me who has a bit of access to to generative AI, I don't trust most of their results, not completely, because I have to give it a trust ratio. That's why I said, because I've interacted so much with it that I discovered that it always tries to suit my narrative. That's why I always give you an example. Tell ChatGPT what is 1 plus 1. If it says to no, tell ChatGPT that this is wrong. 1 plus 1 cannot be 2. And say the next thing that it's going to tell you. It will always try to suit your narrative. As you're on the call, you can be trying that just to ensure, just to be sure that, so that if you are able to build a level of trust that, oh, whatever result these things are bringing out, they are not 100%. And it's because we are still training these models. All of them are in process. So these are the part of the current. These are not all. We still have a lot of them that even if we decide to discuss it today, we may not live here today. So I'm going to be discussing the tensions that we have in cybersecurity under a three tension. We are calling it tension because they are paradox that we need to understand. The first is cyber, there is defense and offense. That is attack. Somebody is attacking and somebody is defending. For some of you that are conversant with football, you know what an attacker does. An attacker scores. A defender ensures that you don't score. The other one is privacy and protection. Yes, how do we ensure that our data are safe wherever our data is safe, wherever it's safe, wherever it's being kept? And the last is speed and control, which is at the equilibrium point. You can see the way this is, because the speed and control is very, very important. Somebody might be attacking you, your privacy concern, but what actually happens with the speed and control? How do we ensure that whatsoever AI is bringing out, just like the same way I told you, when you're asking, if you try ask ChatGPT what is 1 times 1, is immediately it's going to give you. Ask them complex questions, it's going to give you. But how do we ensure that even as it's as fast as it is today, how do you ensure that what is giving you is actually true? So the first tension we'll be discussing about AI paradox is the defense versus offense. You can see every defensive AI capability can become an offensive weapon. Like I said, that the same machines learning that help us to dictate intrusion can also help an attacker to evade dictation. This AI learns to patch security. These are examples you can, in case if you are reading my write-up, when you're patching vulnerabilities, there are systems you built today in organization. In some of it that may be finding yourself under network security, you discover that now there are some organizations, the big guys, the enterprise guys, they no longer patch manually. They are automated systems that ensure that if it depends on the patch, especially some of us that uses Microsoft products, whenever they are sending their patch monthly, their monthly patch, they have different platforms. They have the SCCM platform. There are different platforms where you can patch your system. And some of these things are getting automated. Unlike before that we hold a particular team responsible for ensuring that all our systems are patched. Most of these things are getting automated. But don't forget, as we are building a systems that ensure that we are patched, we are automated and patched against vulnerability, the same system can be built to find an evasive method into how a system that is not patched would not be discovered on our network. That is what we are calling, that's why I said AI protection systems. You can see this is a system, a dictation system. A dictation system is an example of a dictation system within your organization, even within your laptop. On your laptop, for some of you, is an antivirus. The antivirus is a defense system. Probably when you plug, some of you that uses a flash, when you plug a flash, and probably your flash contains a malware, you can see you're going to see a pop-up for some of you that uses a Windows system. So you're going to see a pop-up, oh, malware detected. That is a defense mechanism. But there are ways in which you are going to, there are ways in which, even on a malware, there's a way that you will encode. You are going to encode the malware today. I'm going to plug it on your system. Your system is not going to be able to get it. Not because it's not malware, but because I've been able to change it to what the system understood. Don't forget, we have different file process. We have the CSV, we have JSON, we have some of you that you have documents, some of you that uses doc. Even this PowerPoint presentation is .ppt. Even this same presentation that I'm doing now, I can embed a macro before I send my presentation to Yannick. Yannick is an expert in AI, so he may be able to get me. But at times I do that to some of my friends just to check probably part of the tricks we do in cybersecurity. If I want to know your location, If I want to know your exact location, there are links that I can use technography, just sending you a picture, and I embed a link in it. Because I know some of them they are cyber secure. They have the knowledge today that if they see any link, they are not going to click. But if I send you a picture of what you like to see, probably send you a picture of Ronaldo and ensure that probably Ronaldo is smiling. I just wanted you to click it, just to be able to get a bit of information about you. And the very moment you click that link, I'm going to get a feedback from my hand. It's going to give me your system name. It's going to give me your phone name. I'm going to get current IP address and the current ISP that is giving you network. So that will be able to make me know your location. I do that. And imagine, and most of these our phones have protections that you even be able to discover that. But because I've been able to encode this particular file in a way that even the system itself might fall prey to it. The same way with AI systems. They're very smart, but the same way, as smart as they are, the same way you're unlocking it, another key could be used to. The same way you're unlocking another key could be used to unlock. The next is speed and control, which I said is actually important. Like I said, that most of as a security analyst today, none of you or none of us today can work as fast as an AI. None of us can discover how there are viruses that are on your endpoint. There are viruses on your phone that the AI systems, there are tools today within the cyber environments that already have automated AI embedded in them. So because of that, there's no human that is capable of identifying this thing. You can't be as fast as an AI system. Imagine I send a virus to you. Probably I just cook a virus and I send to you via an email. Some of you went that uses Gmail account. There are files that you want to download that the Gmail is going to warn you. As a security analyst, the best I could do is to find the hash of the file. When I find the hash, I try to check on the internet, has this hash been reported? If it has never been reported, I try to check the properties of the file. Hope there's no steganography. Hope there's no hidden link. But there are ways in which you can still masquerade these files that I won't be able to identify them. But I'm not sure you can bypass most of these AI based on the controls that we've given to them. But what now happened? I told you there are some sophisticated SDR that we have today that can automatically disable a user account. I don't want to go technical because I don't bore some of it. I will have said there are very good examples in organization. We have different accounts. Let's say a service account that is used by an application that is used by a transactional database, and probably that account got leaked. Probably the password got leaked, and somebody is trying to do a brute force attack. And the very moment the XDR, this is a technical term, so that I don't bore you with. What I'm just saying is there are accounts within the organization that are very, very useful. And if those accounts get outside, and probably somebody is trying to sign in on your behalf, and the AI got to know about this account, yes, I, as an analyst, I'm not going to disable the account. But the AI, based on the rule set that we're giving the AI, is going to disable it immediately. So because of that, how do we ensure? If the AI disables it, that means all our transaction that goes through that application is going to get disabled. And you can see these are the speed. Yes, the AI respond immediately, but see the control has affected business where we are going to lose money. That is why we keep saying that no matter how good the AI system is, the human will always be needed, irrespective. Okay, let's go to the third one. Tension. 3. I call them tension because, yes, you can see the eye of the picture. You can see privacy versus protection. For AI system to protect us effectively, it needs to see everything. Like I've said, I've even explained this. It needs to have access to your email. It needs no nude authentication. It needs to see the MX record. It needs to have access to everything. Now, how do we ensure that this data does not get in the hands of the bad guys? Because if they do, the same way someone might call you and tell you, I know your father's name. Probably so some of you, I know your surname. In Nigeria, we have what we call BVN. In Nigeria, we have what we call NI. These are like the social security number that they use in the state. We have something that like an identifier. We have that in our country today. And these numbers are crucial. Where you imagine you going to a park and somebody is asking for your social security number. Is it needed? For some of us, out of guilt or probably we are not cyber secure already. We give out all this data. Like I said, whoever calls you and starts acting like a prophet, don't be perplexed. You have to engage the person and also try and use your brain and know where this data sources is coming from. So this is the third tension, the privacy and concern. Yes, how are we ensuring that all our privacy, the data that the AI have access to, the data set, how are we ensuring that they are going to be protected? I need to move a bit faster so that we can cover. Now, this is a sample of the current state. You can see the white guys. I will assume the white guys are the good guys. I will assume the bad guys are this is a chessboard. So you could assume that the bad guys are white, the good guys are white, the bad guys are also black, as the case may be, but that is not. You look at it critically, you discover that these are critical. This is the current state, AI versus AI. Okay, I want you to have a feel. Look at it for some of you that plays chess. This presentation would be available if requested from the owner. This is the results. The hard truth. This is where it gets interesting. Truth be told is, like I said, all of us are getting scared of AI. You can see big companies, they are doing a lot of massive layoff that AI, because they have autonomized most of the processes. Most of the statement I'm going to be saying here is my truth and nobody's else. It's a disclaimer. I can tell you for free that we are not more secure than in the next 5 years, the last 5 years, or probably in the last 10 years. What I can tell you based on some of my analysis is we've just been able to create a different war for ourselves that we are fighting. Don't assume that because AI has come now, as AI is taking some jobs, I can tell you authoritatively, it's going to create some jobs also. If AI takes 10 jobs, it may take 15 jobs to manage the job it's creating. That will only be true as we look at the time. You can start seeing a lot of jobs are prompt engineering. You see machine, you see prompt. What is a prompt engineer? What is he going to be doing? You have machine learning. You see a lot of various roles, machine learning expert. These roles were not there in the last 5 or 6 years, but because of the new world that everyone is fighting, data. Yes, we need who is going to manage all this for us. Yes, a war fought at machine speed with machine intelligence over a terrain that most humans can't even comprehend. Yes. But the fact is, you can't say we are more secure than the last 5 years. Yes, we've gotten more knowledgeable about some of our attacks, maybe about ransomware. But in the process of us even getting more secure, more knowledgeable, we are creating new variants of those attacks because those attacks are sophisticated. Now, today, we have different variants of ransomware within most of our organizations today. Now, were they there last 5 years? No, we have new variants. So as we are creating solutions, inadequately, we are also creating problems. That is the truth. The human elements. This is where it gives us hope. As this is how I was trying to say, that as much as possible that everybody is scared of AI, that AI is coming to take our job. Like I said, if AI takes 10 jobs from you, it's going to create another. It can even create 15 jobs. But what we need to do as human is to ensure that you put yourself in a scalable state that irrespective of where the affair is being pivoted to, ensure that you are safe, your job is safe. And as a cybersecurity person, yes, we have tools now that does automated scanning, that does automated scanning of vulnerabilities. But some of the questions we see have today, how do you align when is the severity high, when is the severity low, when is the severity? There are some alerts as an analyst level 1 that you're going to see, you're like, oh, this is benign. This alert, no, we know this is a normal activity. And AI will take the same attempt, the same course that is taken on an high severity case. It's going to take the same course on a low severity case, probably with the same title. If some of you have used some of these notable EDR, the endpoint detection response tools that we have within our organization today, you discover that something as little as me plugging my USB and removing it. And I will get alert instantaneously that, oh, this flash contains. I didn't even block. I didn't even interact with the flash. I just discovered. An AI to part of the EDR is going to send an alert to an analyst. Oh, this flash contains this and this and this and this and this. And some of this AI to this, some of this AI to, yes, are they right? Yes, they're right. But is it what I should be scared of? No. So because of that, it's important that we know as people that there's a hope. As much as more they're creating sophisticated system, sophisticated agent that can do a lot, the hope is the human element. I can tell you for free that we, even some of you that are coming, because truth be told, the entry level is getting choked up. It's getting choked up because some of the jobs that we give to entry level is being outsourced to AI. But you need to promote yourself. You need to have a skill. Now, it's no longer you having the variant skill. You need to have a real skill set. Skill set like, yes, I can, an AI too can analyze a vulnerability. Yeah, we have automated penetration testing too, but can they do manual tests? If some of you have ever heard of platform like HackerOne, these are platforms, a bug bounty site that all think about any organization that is global today. They have their platforms there where they ask attackers to come and do manual testing within their organization. Are you not telling me that these organizations they can't buy sophisticated tool to do those? No. Are you telling me companies like Google, companies like Apple, they have their product on those platforms? Asking that, oh, we don't want the bad guys to hack us. You register with this platform. Come and hack us. Whatever you found, report it officially so that before the bad guys then, and people are getting paid. That is even another job. That would be a very great job of the future. So it's no longer you using tools to scan vulnerabilities. Can you do static analysis? Can you do manual testing? You don't just check access control in APIs. No. How do you know if an API today, even before expose key in AI in API used to be a great deal. But we have tools today that even on AWS, even if you mistakenly expose your public key or probably any of your key that you are using in safeguarding any of your storage or probably your EBS, AWS is going to flag an alert even without either you're a security person or not, because we have people, because these are misconfiguration problem. But AWS has developed an automated system that guards those platforms. But manual testing, we still need human. Even with all the automated testing, who is going to analyze the results? Who is going to generate? Yes, AI generates reports. Who is going to classify them? Because people are saying, yeah, GRC, that GRC might be going. I said, no. The only thing we needed is we need skillful GRC now. Yes, AI can write a lot of reports. It's very, very good. But what if we are faced with an incident that nobody has seen today? Just as we are in the phase of writing frameworks for AI. Yes, different organizations have developed frameworks for AI. Even Microsoft has done their own. Platforms like the NIST, we have ISO 2 has done their own. We have the ISO 42001, which is for AI. But for some of you, when you have time, for some of us in cyberspace that have read this, we know some of those statements are vague, because if you still need to customize it to your organization, how are we going to deal with this? And it's not an AI that is going to customize it for you. It's still human. So what am I trying to say is the human factor will always be needed. I think that should also make all of us happy that AI might take some job, but I can tell you that it's going to create more jobs. Now, what is the way forward? What are we going to be doing next? Like I said, I've admonished all of us that are on the call. It's important that you don't see AI as a tool to admit. You should see it as a tool to use every day. You should see it more or less as a collaborative tool because it's innovative. It's also have shared intelligence. AI and human, you can see a picture of where we need AI and human working together. That is the new future. You can't sit and say I don't like AI. You have to like AI. You have to love it, especially for some of you that is trying to find your path in the cybersecurity space. There are incidents that you're going to get today. Even as of my level, I still use AI, I still ask Google. There are frameworks that I know that I don't have to save on my head. I can tell Google, oh, I can tell ChatGPT or Grok. Probably there's an incident within an organization. Oh, I will align that particular incident with one of our risks. Let's say our incident response, the NIST 600, the NIST 800 version 61, which is about incident response. I'll give the AI incident, I'll give you the AI, generative AI, I'll give you the scenario and ask you to attach this to one of our risks that we are following within the organization. I can attach it to our ISO also. So you can see that it has made my work easier. Now we have a lot of tools today. Now we have platforms today that part of the teams that I work with. If you post anything about my organization on the internet today, we are going to know. And how are we going to know that? We have sophisticated AI tools, AI that has been discovered, that has been developed. But all these tools still need human intervention because there are scenarios where let's say Adapt today, Adapt decided to employ a stealth organization, a stealth team. What they just know is what they needed is anybody that posted anything Adapt on the internet, they want to know it or they want to have an alert. Imagine what will happen. And that is part of the tools. That is part of where I work, we have a team that does that. There are times where it just adapts. It has nothing to do with the organization. You discover that AI tool is going to tell you, it's going to bring it to you. Oh, somebody's mentioning adapt. Probably when I now go through the report, I said, adapt. Maybe the person is just using the word adapt. But the AI, because we programmed the AI to always crawl over the internet, to crawl over popular sites, not just the whole internet, popular site like LinkedIn, popular site like Twitter, popular site like GitHub, GitLab. So these are sites that we focus. You can't, and also dark web. There are a lot of dark webs that probably are you selling information, are you selling credentials. So whatever has anything to do with the organization, the tools we keep telling you. Imagine what the tool is doing. Yes, we are now collaborating. Yes, the tool is going to tell us. But as an analyst, you are the one that will now decide, oh, this is just Adapt. It has nothing to do with Adapt as a company. So that's why I'm saying that it's important that the humans and AI, we need to work together. And this is the way forward. Is we discuss under the transparency, cooperation, and human problem. You can see the first, we need transparency. An AI system protecting us can't be black box. What we mean by black box is you can't just give an AI without giving an AI information on what to work with. An AI is not going to perform well in such area. AI are not built. AI are built on models. And so in the process of you building models, so that you want an AI to start making decision, make best decision, but they don't make decision based on black box. So we need to understand how they make decisions, how they're optimizing, and where they may fail. Like I told you, that part of the problem of AI today is hallucination. You can even go, some of you could even go to the internet, put your surname, can you describe me, and see the AI is going to fetch data about you. The little data you have on the internet, you discover that the AI will describe you. Probably some of you have publications, some of you have your CV online. The AI will go there. So those are what you know. Is this information correct about me? That is why it's important that all of us becomes an ardent user of it. And wherever the AI is hallucinating, that is giving incorrect information, you know. So it's important that the second is we need cooperation. This isn't a problem of any country or company or one. We need all of us to share intelligence, common standard, and we already have bodies in the cybersecurity space that are doing that. We have bodies like the NIST, the CIST, that is helping us in those regards. That if there's an attack today, if there's an AI attack today, yes, we don't have a general database. We don't have a general database where AI incidents are reported. Everybody is doing it differently and separately. But we will develop, because the AI growing phase is also still in progress. So I know we are going to get to a level where we have a secure database, a database that has all AI incidents globally. And how can we get there? Is through this cooperation. And the last is we need to remember that cybersecurity isn't just about technical problems. It's a human thing. And the best AI, the best AI cannot function well without an human interference. Don't forget, it's you, woman, that is going to tell us about, is going to preach about security awareness. You are the one that is going to train people. Yes, the AI systems are automated. Who even build those automated systems? They are still human. So it's important about the skill set that we gain. But for some of you that are coming in the cyberspace, I can tell you, you are welcome and there is no problem about the job. As much as possible that you have the required skill. The only thing is, it's no longer going to be about certifications. You're trying to get certificates over certificate over certificate. No, AI can write all the exams you've written and pass at once. But what can you do differently? That is what is going to be henceforth. What can you do? How can you outsmart this thing? The AI is already doing most of the things you are thinking of doing. So this
And
is the path
Alex,
forward.
right? Look, I want to make sure we also have some time for questions.
All right. I will round up now.
Okay.
All right. So this is we are at the crossroad. So this is a crossroad. You can see, you can just, if you're looking at this crossroad, we are at the crossroad. An AI arm race where one is defending, one is also attacking. Like I said, this is just to show you that we're in divergent field. But don't forget, even with all our controls, human are still needed. The real traits. So this is, I think I'm actually getting to I'm close to the final. The choice isn't whether AI is in cybersecurity. Like we said, AI is already in cybersecurity. And like I said, now what you need now is an adequate skill set, no longer certificate. And we shouldn't forget the human element. And final message for everyone is that irrespective of whatsoever AI system that will be built overboard, AI systems that will be built in the next 10 years, maybe everything will have been automated by then. Probably we have adequate AI system, AI policies, AI ethics. Don't forget that robots, AIs are probably the future of cybersecurity, isn't about building better robots, but it's about remaining human in an increasing automated system. So I'd advise all of us, as a final note, to stay human. Thank you.
Wow, thank you very much. This is what an amazing presentation here, Alex, on security and AI. Really happy to be able to have you share that expertise. I know we had during your presentation a few questions here, but before we go to questions, I think your chess quiz was, I think you had the knight or like were missing. I think the knight was replaced by some AI engine or something like that. So so the white was actually the bad guy. They were somehow compromised. I don't know, but um so as we wrap up here, we have a few questions. I think the first question is, how does which branch of cybersecurity someone would take if they're a beginner? What would you advise them to as a branch to fall, to take as a beginner?
All right. There are two sides that are very important. I always advise people when you want to come into cybersecurity. Like I said, when I was starting my own career, I know my personality, and so you should. Are you someone who likes constant reading? Are you someone who doesn't like peace of mind? Because if you work within the SOC space as an entry level, you may not necessarily be having much peace of mind because you always have to be on your toes. So, and if you are someone who just wants to hack things and probably protect an organization, you'll be called once in a while, but not often. So the question still lies with you. If I'm going to advise you, someone like me, I hardly sleep. So someone like me, I fall within the SOC space. I could function very well. So if you're someone who is always liking to be on your toes, you can start within the SOC. And that's what we call the blue team. If you're someone who likes to get technical, get your hands dirty, the bug bounty is there, the penetration testing is there. We have a lot about the application security that you can even start at just scanning vulnerabilities. We have automated tools that does that. So These are the two platforms that I can advise. Use either if you go within the SOC or you go within the application space. And also have the GRC is welcome for everybody. So it depends on your niche, your personality should choose for you. Thank you.
And those are jobs that you can get remotely, right? You can do these jobs for companies. Let's
Yes.
say you in Nigeria in Lagos, you could be working for a company locally in Lagos, or you could be doing for a company that's located, let's say, in
Exactly.
South Africa.
South Africa, yeah. Even US, you
Even
get
the
those
US.
jobs. Yes.
Yeah, that's good. And why do companies leaders downplay data breaches? That's another question.
Why do company leaders downplay data breaches? So it depends in context. And context, some of these decisions. Take for instance, if the company, some companies lost their customers' data of username and password and phone numbers, and an attacker. There are scenarios where I've worked with company where the attacker is threatening that they want to release username. So when we look at, that's why we call something risk. We have to look at what's the worst thing that could happen. You're asking us to come and pay a particular Bitcoin. It's just like telling a terrorist that you don't pay ransom. So ransomware too, we've been advised we don't pay, because if you paid, they are still going to release it. So because of that, it's not as if companies are downplaying. No, the companies leaders don't downplay. You may be seeing it as an external person that they are downplaying it. Don't even forget that any organization, any country you have, there are data policy that even force company to do some of these things. So I'm not going to agree that they are downplaying it because you are not an insider. Companies don't downplay it. What they've just been able to, at times they are pushed to the wall to make some strict decisions. It's just for the organizational goal and everyone. So I don't know if I answered that question. It's a bit tricky.
Yeah, it's a tricky question, but I think it's a very good answer, which is that I also like the fact that you bring that companies have policies. So it's not just like a leader decision on its own. They have policies, they have board members that help guide the decision. They have stakeholders that, investors that, and they have a branding that they have to protect too, right? Because if your company is on the news, uh, with those kind of highlight at the same time to you basically tarnishing your brand,
Yeah, that's correct. Thank you for
right?
the.
So any other final question here that people might have? Just a moment. It looks like all
That was
right.
my question.
Okay. So I think, overall, Alex, really good session. I do think that I had another another question for me, which was more like, as you think about like our this youngest population of the world, right? Africa has the youngest population of the world.
Yes.
How can Africans not only avoid becoming the victim of this, but also position themselves more into this? I know there's already um, a lot of interest, but what is your final kind of uh, summary? Like, how do you motivate even further people, the Africans to position themselves more into this race?
All right. I think my response is going to be you may have to follow the unconventional way, because the conventional way recently, I don't know who brings it into the system, is you getting certificated. You don't even have the knowledge. Someone will just pay for you. It's good. I'm not saying certificates is not good, but as an African, you need to get our hands dirty. There are platforms today that build workflow. We have N8 platform that teaches you about these things. And even if it's not cybersecurity that is in your niche, whatsoever niche that you are in, AI is coming there. I can tell you, except if you are not doing the white collar job, probably you're a plumber, you're an electrician. I used to joke on my WhatsApp status that I'm actually learning plumbing now as part of my second job. But since when they said AI is coming to take it, I always tell my friends, better go and learn carpentry. But even at that, for us to be, how do we ensure that we we harness this opportunity as Africa. Is the skill. I can't overemphasize it. You have to be skillful. People will pay for it. Organizations are going to pay for it. And don't just as some other guys in a certain hemisphere. So it's important that you get your hands. If it is cybersecurity, can you build? There are CVs that you read. I also perform interviews at times. There are CVs that you read. I've done this, and you just ask them a simple questions. You discover that they don't even have it. So for someone like if you're in cybersecurity, why don't you start getting your hands dirty by doing as simple as building a log manager, building a sim. We have free sims. We have different tools on the internet. Get it done. And those are what you project as your project. And you keep scaling. You keep scaling over it. So that is going to be my response. My response is Africans, let's know the real deal and not following the general mantra in the market now. Certificates. No, get it done and you get paid. Thank you.
Wow, that's what a nice way of closing today, because I truly believe that that is a gap that we have, which is often actually getting the hands dirty, getting into things, right? Not just the certification and the titles, but it's, actually, do you know it? So if you happen to go to an interview, can you convince the folks in front of you that you are the ideal candidate with the right skills needed to get that job done? With this, thank you again, Alex, for these sessions. For the folks that join us today, this Saturday, we want to say thank you to you as well. Adapt. Always look for speakers like Alex. So if you were listening to us and you also have a topic that's interesting that you want to be able to share here with our members, please do let us know. In our website, we have a link for it. We wish you a great Saturday, and until the next time, take care. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Next time. Bye-bye.